Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. There's some serious buzz swirling around the NFC East right now, and it's all centered on what could be one of the biggest moves of the offseason so far. Rumor has it that the Dallas Cowboys might be preparing to make a blockbuster trade that could shake up the entire division, and the target is none other than CeeDee Lamb, their star wide receiver. And get this, Washington Commanders fans, this isn't just idle chatter. Sources close to the situation, including some insights from Diana Rossini, suggest that Lamb could soon be heading south, right into our division, in a blockbuster deal that would send a first-round pick in the 2026 draft back to Dallas. If this trade goes through, it could be a game-changer for the Commanders, and honestly, for the entire NFC East. Now, let's break down what this means. CeeDee Lamb has been one of the most dynamic wideouts in the league, especially in terms of YAC, yards after catch, and route running. This guy is a master at creating separation and turning short passes into big gains. The Cowboys, sitting at 5-5 and battling some offensive struggles, are reportedly focused on freeing up cap space, something around $12 million, and looking to make moves that will help them rebuild their offensive line and add firepower elsewhere. Lamb, who's under contract through 2025 with elite PFF grades, particularly an 89. For this season, an impressive career stats, 512 receptions for nearly 0 yards and 48 touchdowns, could be the perfect piece to add to our offense. Imagine the impact of Lamb lining up alongside Terry McLaurin, who's already proven to be a top-tier receiver with an 85. 2 PFF grade, and complementing Jahan Dotson, whose explosiveness and red zone threat would make our passing attack even deadlier. Lamb's ability to stretch the field, averaging over 12 yards per catch, combined with McLaurin's route running and YAC, would give us a dual threat that defenses would struggle to contain. Plus, Lamb's contested catch rate of 48% and separation of 2-3 yards per route suggest he's not just a deep threat, but also reliable in tight coverage and in contested situations, which is exactly what we need to elevate our offense. Here's a crucial detail. The potential trade could be a signal that the Commanders are all in on building a high-powered offense that can challenge the top teams in the league. With Sam Howell at quarterback, who's shown flashes of brilliance and potential, adding a weapon like Lamb could really accelerate our offensive identity. Our coaching staff has been emphasizing a balanced attack, and Lamb's versatility could allow us to diversify our play calling, attack defenses in multiple ways, and keep our opponents guessing. But it's not just about adding talent. This move also signals a shift in our division. The Cowboys are clearly focusing on rebuilding and retooling their roster, especially their offensive line, which has been a weak spot. They're looking to free up cash, about $18 million according to some reports, and make strategic moves to get their offense back to elite status. The NFC East has always been known for its fierce rivalries and unpredictability, and if Lamb joins the Commanders, it could be the start of a new era. Think about the potential of a Lamb-McLaurin tandem, combined with our solid offensive line and emerging defense, turning Washington into a playoff contender once again. Speaking of the defense, while this trade primarily boosts our offense, it also indirectly enhances our overall team strength. When you have a prolific passing attack, it opens up opportunities for your defense to get after the quarterback, force turnovers, and control the game clock. It's a recipe for success, especially in a division where rival teams like the Eagles and Giants are also stacking their rosters. The NFC East is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in football, and adding Lamb could give us that extra edge needed to push for a deep playoff run. Now, let's talk about the broader picture. The Commanders are sitting with a cap space of around $25 million, which gives us some flexibility to make strategic moves. The potential acquisition of Lamb would not only be a splash move, but also a signal to the rest of the league that Washington is serious about competing and winning now. With the division still wide open, considering the Eagles' recent struggles and the Giants' rebuilding, the time is ripe for us to make a statement. Lamb's presence could be a catalyst for turning our season around, boosting our chances of reaching the playoffs and eventually contending for a Super Bowl. You might be wondering about the long-term implications. Well, Lamb is just 24 years old, and with his trajectory, he's entering the prime of his career. His consistency, elite route running, and ability to change games make him a franchise-altering player. For the Commanders, locking him up through the next couple of seasons would be a huge win, especially if we can complement him with our existing core of young talent. This move could be the spark that ignites our offense and helps us compete at the highest level for years to come. Of course, nothing is certain yet. The Cowboys are reportedly cautious about trading Lamb, especially since they see him as a key piece for their future. They've been cautious about freeing up cap space and rebuilding their offensive line, and there's skepticism about whether they'll pull the trigger on such a blockbuster trade. Still, if the deal happens, it would be a clear indication that the Commanders are ready to take a big leap forward. It would be a bold move that sends shockwaves through the division and sets the stage for a more competitive, high-octane NFC East. And let's not forget the larger implications. If Washington manages to land Lamb, the odds of us making a deep playoff push skyrocket. Bookmakers have already shifted the Super Bowl odds for the Commanders from +10, 0 to +4, 0, reflecting growing optimism about our chances. Lamb's ability to perform under pressure, his contested catch rate of nearly 50%, and his ability to thrive against top-tier defenses, especially in clutch moments, could be exactly what we need to elevate our game and challenge the league's best. In summary, this potential trade isn't just about acquiring a talented receiver. It's about sending a message that Washington is serious about winning. It's about building a team that can compete with the best, especially in a division as tough as the NFC East. The combination of Lamb and McLaurin could be a nightmare for defenses, creating mismatches and opening up opportunities for our entire offense. And for us, fans of the Commanders, it's an exciting time, because we're witnessing what could be a pivotal moment in our franchise's history. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the NFL landscape is constantly shifting, and these kinds of moves can reshape the balance of power. If the Commanders pull off this trade, it sets us up not just for a solid season, but for a sustained period of success. We're talking about assembling a core that can compete in the playoffs, challenge division rivals like the Eagles, and potentially make a run at the Super Bowl. Having Lamb as part of our offense would certainly elevate our profile and make us a team to be feared in the NFC. And what about the fans? Well, if this deal goes through, it will energize the entire fan base. Imagine the excitement of seeing Lamb in the burgundy and gold, catching passes from Howell, creating big plays, and bringing the house down at FedEx Field. It's the kind of move that rekindles hope and reignites our passion, reminding us that the Commanders are back in business, aiming high and pushing for greatness. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, and the offseason is always full of surprises. But the signs are pointing toward a very active and strategic Washington front office. They're looking to make a splash, to add impact players that can help us compete now and in the future. Lamb's potential arrival could be just the beginning of an aggressive push to reshape our roster and solidify our place as a top contender. So, Commanders fans, stay tuned. Keep your eyes on the news, stay excited, and keep supporting your team through thick and thin. We're on the verge of what could be a historic chapter in our franchise's story. Whether Lamb ends up in Washington or not, one thing is clear. The NFC East is about to get a whole lot more interesting. And as always, we're here to bring you all the latest updates, analysis, and insider info. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news.